Hello everybody, welcome back. In the first half, we explored the groundbreaking science behind our guest's work in H. pylori research. Now we're diving into the story behind the scientist, the journey from high school studies to postdoc life, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and some side quests along the way. Get ready to hear about their determination, resilience, and inspiration that shaped their path. Let's jump right back in.
For a lot of us, what you're doing right now is the dream. You know, working in academia, working in research, that's the dream. So for a lot of us, though, we're here right now. We're in the undergraduate, we're getting our undergrad, and we're, thinking and stressing out about what's going to happen in the future. So do you want to talk a little bit about like your high school life? Did you always know you wanted to be a scientist? Did you always, have this kind of dream, or did you kind of get into it and like explore other things and find out that this is what you're passionate about?
Yeah, I think that there is something that you feel that your dream is going to one direction, and then in the middle, life happens.
Yeah.
And you have to make decisions, and you're like, I don't think that is a very straightforward way in any life. So I think that my life was the same when I was at high school. I knew that I loved biology and I wanted to do something about biology. When I learned everything about Mendelian genetics, I thought, okay, I want to do this. But then when I was about to start the university, there was in my country, my family, I did my high school like in the south in Patagonia, so I was very far from the very well-known and big universities that are mostly in the capital of the country called Buenos Aires. So most of students like me that would live in the south, we moved to Buenos Aires, that is 2,000 kilometers away from home. So I had some of my siblings living there because I'm the youngest from 5.
Yeah.
So I moved to live with them, and the opportunities there was to study genetics or biotechnology. At that time, biotechnology was a very new career. So no one really knows what it's about. But for me, it was like, okay, let's see what this new career will make in the future. I think that I talked with some guys that were studying at that moment biotechnology, and they told me, well, it's like genetics and you want to do genetics, but it's more like applied to the biotechnology field. So maybe you can do more money. and so for me, it was like, okay, it's something new that's happening around the world. I have the opportunity to study it now in Buenos Aires, so I just started.
Okay, so it was like,
And then,
sorry, continue.
But then my life did some changes, because then I transferred to another. I did 2 years of biotechnology, and then I changed to philosophy and theology, so nothing to do with.
That was out of left field. How'd you get into that?
Well, I was wondering if, because that was like my second. When I was about to start at university, that was my second option.
Oh, wow.
Very different, but I really loved also that field. So I started doing that, and I moved. And when I was finishing that degree, I realized that, okay, this is great, but if I want to do this for a living, I will be very poor in my country. So, and also I have this question, okay, I want to, because you mainly teach when you do that. I don't know here, but back in Argentina, I was teaching at high school, at university too, philosophy and theology. And I decided, okay, I would like to go back to my roots, like my first love. So I came back to biotechnology. I finished that degree, and that's where I transitioned to the PhD, and then Canada. Yep. So it, like, my life was not straightforward at all.
That's actually very interesting. The whole philosophy aspect is so cool. Like, not a lot of people talk about that, especially like people in Canada. We would never be able to, like, deviate for like 2 years or a couple years to just pursue something that we're passionate about. And I think so many of us struggle with that, even right now. Like, I was just talking to someone about how I can't take electives that I like because I'm always so freaked out about like science, science, science. But you know what? This gave me the inspiration that I needed. So thank you. But yeah, Diego?
Yeah, and sometimes you know that you feel that you're getting old and you don't have your degree.
Yeah.
And well, of course that I lived everything. I mean, all of that question because I was, okay, I'm getting old. Should I go back and start with, I don't know, 27 years again, biotechnology? And yes, I did. It was very weird because I had to, when I went back to biotechnology, one of my first courses was, how do you call that? Well, it was physics 5. So it was for me, it was very hard. Imagine that for almost 7 years, I've been studying Plato, and then I had to go back to like triple integratives, or I don't know how do you say that, but like all those very difficult mathematics that it was very challenging for me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you had quite a lot going on, lots of transitions back and forth to schools and places. I want to ask you, if you had to go back and kind of relive all of this, would you have done anything differently? Would there be anything that you want to like experience again? Would you change anything? Like, looking back on it now, you have any advice for yourself if you would do anything differently?
I think that I won't change anything. I mean, I think that I am who I am because of all the decisions that I made, right or wrong, but that's what led me to where I'm now. So, I mean, in my like scientific career and also in my personal life. So I don't think I would change anything. Of course, I would encourage me to don't feel fear. You know that when you are transitioning big changes, you have a lot of fear and anxiety because you don't know if that will finish in a good end. I don't know, at least for now, like life showed me that it always has a quite good end. Maybe it's not the perfect end, but it is what it is, and I'm happy with that.
So you're satisfied now. You feel good. You're happy with where you are.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
That's always so good to hear.
Oh, I was gonna ask. So like you said, you have no regrets. You're happy where you are, and everything is all good. Do you have any advice to anybody who might be looking to pursue a dream far from home or go abroad to either whether it's come back to Canada or to go study abroad? Do you have any advice for any of those people who might want to have to take that leap?
And this could be both academically or personal. Like if there's, any personal changes you saw in yourself and you thought, I should have been a little bit more prepared for that. Or just academically, like things that you should have taken or steps you should have,
Yeah, I think that maybe I would say that try to be more positive and don't be afraid of the challenges because every path, like career path, will have challenges and you will have the strength to go through them. So I think that when you're, at least in my experience and some other friends that had the same experience of going abroad, like when you start thinking about it, is that you feel, okay, maybe I'm not, I will miss my family, or I don't know where to start looking, but you will find how to do that. Like the limit, like the highest limit is yourself. If you have the objective to go abroad or to move to some lab, or you just need to connect with people.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to email people asking if they are looking for people, or maybe looking at for advice. Sometimes it's a very good option to reach someone that is living what you would like to live in a couple of years,
Right.
so they can explain you how they did that, or they have some contact that they can share with you, or they know about opportunities that maybe in your mind they don't exist and actually they are out there. So I think that kind of yes, you need to connect with people. Mostly, I think that
Right.
there are many opportunities outside for all of us, and it's all about connections.
No, that's so true. And I think we've mentioned this a couple times in the podcast, but connections mean everything in the science world. It's how you have to, it's how you get your foot in the door so you can actually start building your own career. But in Canada, for a lot of us, we're immigrants, right? We come here, we have really well built families at home, and then suddenly we're in a country where even our parents don't know anyone and we don't know anyone. So this is kind of something like my story as well. Like my parents, they're not doctors, they don't have a science background at all. So now when I'm looking for research and I'm looking for little opportunities here and there, I have to do that all on my own. So do you have any advice for that? And if someone like me were to reach out to someone like you who's already at that spot, are there some things that would like attract you to like an email that I send you, or just anything that would make you more inclined to help me? Because I'm sure other people out there are living the same thing and they would love to know how they can better their like applications for a mentor, quote unquote.
Yeah. No, I think that, well, I never received an email yet about like people
Consider this
requesting,
mine then.
but yeah, but I already sent some emails because I really don't know what I'm going to do next. So like I have some career path that I would like to explore. So I reach people. I think that mostly people are happy to help you. And in my case, if someone sent me an email saying, "Hey, Manuel, can you help me with this?" I have no problem. You can make sometimes to share your experience. And I think that people like talking about themselves. So, so yeah, I mean, don't be shy and reach out wherever like model you have out there. I don't remember your other one. How to? I think that if you like, now that it's everything in Google, so or ChatGPT, so you can just do a very fast research online, and you will get the names that you need. Also, you can search on LinkedIn, which are the most relevant guys in your research or whatever area. You can reach them. Yes.
Okay, so just the last thing we want to talk about now is just advice for people who want to actually pursue PhDs and postgrads, because you've already done PhDs, right? And so did you have okay, so like I said, in undergrad here especially, we learn a bit of everything. So I know you said your undergrad's more like a master's there, so I'm sure it's a little bit more focused. But here we kind of just get like a general idea of all different kinds of sciences. We have to take our chemistries and our biologies and our biochemistries. So from there, how do you narrow down your research interest into like a specific thing? Because it might just be like, for a lot of people, it might just be like, oh, this certain topic stood out to me in lecture, right? But for a lot of us, it's just like we kind of know a little bit about everything, but we don't know what we want to know more about, if that makes sense. So did you have like that journey where you were like, okay, this is exactly what I'm into, or something along these lines is what I want to pursue as for my research and my PhD? Did you have that moment, like that little aha moment?
Yes, it's a little bit different, as you said, because my degree, like my undergrad is 6 years of biotechnology. So I had, of course, like the first 2 years is like more general, like biological science or math or physics. But then it's all very tailored to bioprocesses. I don't know. I don't remember now. But it's very focused on biotechnology. So then when I was about to start my PhD, I mean, I was finishing my my undergrad. I didn't know if I wanted to do like a PhD or move to the industry. That were like the only two ways I think it for me at that moment. And I've been lucky, I think, because my PI was also has some funding for someone to do a PhD. So I talked to him like, okay, I can do a PhD. I was thinking that was one of my options, but if I'm going to do this, I want something very focused on protein purification at that moment, because at that moment I thought that was something that will open me doors in biotech companies. That maybe it's not true.
Okay.
I think that it was not true at that moment, but for me it was true. So yeah, I mean, I don't have an answer for you because I don't know how is the system here exactly, but I can share with you what was my journey.
Yeah. No, that's still valuable. It's still like a unique perspective to hear. And I'm sure like sometimes you're so right. A lot of the times we just think, okay, what's going to get me further in my career? Sometimes it's not even about what you're the most passionate about, because you're passionate about something so general. So that's a very good point that you brought up. Yeah.
I think that, yeah, I think I feel the same for now, because when I moved to Canada, like my decision was not about, okay, I really want to study H. pylori, because I didn't know even what was the
Of course,
what was the bacteria doing. But I knew that the research world was looking for people focused in bioinformatics. So, and it's moving to that place. So I want to have those skills. And if there was someone in Canada trying to have a postdoc learning about this technique, it was a huge opportunity for me, for sure.
Of course, yeah.
But I think that maybe it's not only that you want to do research, I don't know, in IBD disease, or it's more of what set of skills you want to gain in that position to move forward to your next yes, position.
That is true. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, so as we're kind of wrapping everything up, do you have any kind of advice that you could give, some last minute advice to the people who might be listening to this, like the undergrads who are kind of unsure of whether or not they want to go to medical school, if they want to go the PhD route, the master's route? There's a lot to think about, right, when you're coming out of undergrad. And do you have any advice for those people who are kind of unsure of their journey?
Yeah, maybe you don't have to be afraid of trying things. I think maybe it's hard here in Canada, I don't know, but in my experience, once you have the experience, you can decide with real reasons if you like it or if you don't like it. Of course that you cannot try everything, but if you can have a short experience in some lab, or you can talk with some people that are doing research or are already graduated from that other degree, career, or whatever. I think that always clarifies you a lot. I mean, I did that when I was at high school, and I talked with these guys that were already doing biotechnology. And I think that in that moment, that clarified me a lot. And then when I decided to go back to biotechnology, I was already in the philosophical environment, and I realized that, okay, it was great, but I feel that I needed something different. So yes, like experiencing and contacting with people that are already in what you aim to do is always a good advice.
Okay, that was so inspirational to hear. And I think if there's one big takeaway I've taken from this conversation, is that a lot of us in the science field follow the whole life is short mindset, and we need to get everything done back to back to back. But you know what? Sometimes it's okay to deviate from that. Sometimes it's okay to do something that you love instead. Sometimes it's okay to change countries if that's what you have to do. So things have a way of, working out at the end. And I think it's important for a lot of us to hear that. Truly, significantly like it resonates with a lot of us, and it's very profound for this audience specifically. So we just wanted to take this time to say thank you for coming on here and sharing your journey and sharing, things about your lab. And it's always so refreshing and so necessary to get advice from people who are doing the things that you want to do, like you just mentioned. And so we wanted to say thank you and express our gratitude. And yeah, we hope that we can live a life as fulfilling as you someday for sure.
Thank you guys for inviting me. It was a real pleasure to share something with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And with that, we can conclude this week's episode, and we'll see you guys next time.